nervous? Hey,
Not open this door,
I'm
sir.
out here with Miss Cassandra.
Officers have just arrived at the getaway motel of 28-year-old Cassandra Douglas. For the last 24 hours, she and her brother have been on the run after 3 of their family members were found dead and burned in the desert.
99% this is either an animal or a person.
That looks like a human, dude.
And as these local officers prepare to confront the primary suspect of the most important case they've ever worked on, nothing could prepare them for the horrifying discoveries they're about to make.
Calls the police! Anyone inside, make yourself known!
This is a horrible nightmare.
What are we looking at here? 'Cause
I don't, you tell me.
This is one of the worst things that I've ever had to be involved with.
It's a routine Friday afternoon at the Otero County Sheriff's Office when dispatch begins receiving a series of unusual 911 calls from a young man.
Communications.
Hi, good morning. I'm hoping to file a police report, and I might need some assistance doing so.
Okay, and what's your first and last name?
Kane Mays.
Okay, and tell me what's going on.
I've been living abroad for the past 6 years, and I found out that my father died last year shortly after Christmas. I have recently returned home. I'm living in New Mexico again, and I was hoping to return to the family property. Since his passing, tons and tons of family possessions and property have all gone missing and have either been sold off, lost, or stolen, and I'm looking to reassume possession of the property, but there are people squatting in the house.
Do you know who these people are?
I do. I could give you first and last names, but not anything much else.
Kane goes on to clarify that the squatters inside his deceased father's property are actually family members, mainly his Uncle Victor, who allegedly took over the property and is living there with Kane's grandmother and his stepbrother. He also seemingly claims that his Uncle Victor has sold off valuable assets, including firearms and expensive jewelry belonging to his father. The dispatcher logs the information Kane provides and passes it along for legal follow-up. However, not long after this first contact, on a Monday morning in January 2025, Kane calls again. But this time, it's for something strangely different.
Dispatch.
Hi there. I was calling because I'm wondering, what would it take for me to request a wellness check on somebody?
A welfare check on...
My grandmother, Mary Mauser.
Okay. The sergeant is aware. They are on an emergency call right now. As soon as they are done, we'll head up there to do a welfare check.
Okay, excellent. Thank you, miss.
You're welcome.
A couple of hours after Kane requests a welfare check for his grandmother Mary, he calls police again for the third time to share new updates.
To the Rosa Communications, you're on a recorded line. How can I help you?
Hi, my name is Kane. I called earlier regarding wellness.
So Sergeant Nordquist is going to give you a call back. They have not responded there yet because they've been tied up with a warrant service where the person doesn't want to come out.
No, that's okay. We stopped by on our way down and everything is locked up tight. That's why I was returning your call, because you said if we can, that I should call you back.
All right.
And if they're tied up with an emergency,
Yes, sir.
we got to worry about the officers and make sure that
Yes.
they're still...
Thank you so much for understanding.
I will.
Okay, I will let the sergeant know then.
Following this latest call from Kane, the welfare check is officially canceled, and officers are no longer dispatched to the property. At this point, the dispatcher has no reason to suspect anything other than some kind of family dispute, and the situation appears to have resolved itself for now. In reality, something far more calculated is already in motion, and the family involved will soon be implicated in a scheme that will lead detectives down one of the most twisted murder plots they've ever handled. That same Monday, a few hours after Kane's 911 calls, a man arrives at the police station in the afternoon with an oddly timed request.
Hello, sir.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing well. Sergeant Nordquist.
Mike Blitz.
Mike, it's nice to meet you. How can I help you today?
Okay, well, my brother-in-law helps us take care of my mother-in-law.
Okay.
And he normally is very conscientious about showing up when he says he's going to show up and everything.
Yeah.
And we had to, we scheduled him. We've been taking care of my mother-in-law for 7 years. Okay. She's 92 years old. So anyway, we normally communicate quite a bit during the week and stuff,
So are you wanting to check on him or your mother-in-law?
No, on him.
He lives on No Gal.
Yes.
And somebody had called earlier. We were out busy, but someone had called in for a welfare check, but they canceled us prior to us getting up there because they said whoever it was, and I can go look and find the name, that said that house was locked up tight and that nobody was up there.
The person Sergeant Nordquist is referring to is Mike's nephew-in-law, Kane Mays, and it appears that both Mike and Kane are concerned about family members. Though the family dynamics are becoming tricky to keep up with for the sergeant, Mike is about to make one thing about Kane crystal clear.
Do you know a Kane Mays?
Yeah, I do know him. That's part of the problem.
Okay, so what's the problem there?
Okay, well, I think he's trying to keep us from going over the look. The house is owned by his father. Yeah, well, the owner of the house, okay, was Frank Beret, and he's deceased.
Frank is deceased.
Yeah. Victor, his brother, was living with him along with Kane's grandmother and his stepbrother, Killian.
As Mike continues explaining the complex family dynamics to the sergeant, one thing becomes clear. 3 people are missing, all close relatives of Mike and Kane. But before Mike leaves, there's something serious he needs to warn the sergeant about.
I'm going to get one of my deputies and we're going to go out to the address and see what we can see. See if we can find something.
Okay, let me give you some heads up. His dad had a lot of guns, Frank, before he died, and he taught Kane how to shoot. And when Kane came the other day, I didn't finish my story.
Huh?
When I pulled up there, okay, and I hollered out the window for Vic because the gate was closed, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then a person comes to where I can see about this much of them, right? Up there. And I go, hey, Vic. And he goes, no, it's me, Kane. When he walks down to me, he's packed in. He's armed. And I says, well, have you seen Victor? He says, no, nobody's up here.
Okay.
So I think if I were you, I would go up there with more than 2 guys. Because I think he knows how to shoot. And I don't know if there were any like rifles and stuff like that where he could be, but anyway, so I had his phone number. But then after I had his phone number, see, he had my phone number, he started texting. Your grandmother's missing, your uncle's missing, your stepbrother's missing, right? And this is what he's talking to me about. He's a pathological liar, man. I think he's up to no good, I really do. You guys gotta be really careful.
He said he just got off the line with Sergeant Nordquist, or North. He never called us. We never contacted him.
It's becoming clear to the sergeant that something is off. Sensing this won't be a routine welfare check, Sergeant Nordquist takes note of Mike's concerns and prepares to head out to the house. What makes this case so unique isn't just the crime scene officers will soon walk into, but the way police have to piece it together, using advanced forensics and strategic elicitation to cut through the lies. And as the investigation unfolds, this will prove to be one of the most resource-intensive cases for everyone involved, with constant pressure, long hours, and difficult decisions at every step. Many of us deal with our own pressures and emotional struggles, and sometimes all it takes is talking to someone to begin working through them. There was a time when I got into a pretty bad argument with a close friend a while back, and it just stuck with me. I kept replaying it, what I said, what they said, whether I was in the wrong, and I didn't really have anyone I could talk to about it without it turning into a whole thing or someone picking sides. I just kept telling myself I'd get over it eventually, but eventually never really came. And at some point, I realized that having someone to talk to who's completely outside of your life, who can just give you a fresh perspective with no bias, makes a huge difference. That's why I've partnered with today's sponsor, BetterHelp. Starting therapy can feel like a huge step, but BetterHelp actually makes it really simple. You take a short quiz, get matched with a licensed therapist, and if it's not the right fit, we can switch anytime at no extra cost, which I think is huge because finding the right therapist makes all the difference. And I'm not the only one who thinks so. Over 6 million people have used BetterHelp, earning it a 4.8 out of 5 rating on the App Store. Click the link in the description or go to BetterHelp.com/DrInsanity to get 10% off your first month. With that said, let's get back to the investigation. Approximately an hour after talking to Mike, Sergeant Nordquist and a group of officers head to the property to conduct a welfare check. Based on Mike's previous concerns, officers approach the house cautiously in case they encounter Kane.
I got an open door. Sheriff's office! Sheriff's office, if you're in here, make yourself known! Sheriff's office! Stay here with Sarge. Stay here with Sarge. Got you.
Yeah, I was gonna say everything's stacked and piled.
Yeah. You good?
The doorknob was locked on this.
Yeah.
Literally, when I went like that, I was like, the door just kept going. I was like,
Puzzled by the home's disarray, officers leave after confirming no one is inside. With boxes stacked throughout the home and both of Victor's cars, the blue and green Subarus missing, officers assume the family may have moved out. In reality, the clutter wasn't accidental. It was intentionally staged to conceal evidence of foul play, and it has done exactly that. None of that is apparent now, so Sergeant Nordquist calls Mike on the phone to update him on the situation. This is where the two men will slowly start to pick up on just how sketchy this whole ordeal is.
Hello, sir. So we went up to that address. So we cleared the residence. There was nobody inside. There's no vehicles matching the descriptions of the Subarus you gave on the property. So, but there was no signs of a struggle, no signs of any foul play that we could determine. There were some boxes that appeared to be like being packed up, but other than that, that's all we got.
The thing is, all three people are missing that were staying there at the house. But definitely the king is the kicker. That he's the one that did all that. He called, got your name, and then he was able to send me that text saying that he spoke to you.
Yeah.
And then he called back later and canceled the deal, right?
Yes, sir. And on the face of it, it looks super sketchy, but there was no indication that we could see of any foul play or
a struggle or anything.
Struggle, yes, sir.
As the sergeant tries to reassure Mike, even he begins to wonder if the scene is hiding more than it appears. A few hours later that afternoon, Nordquist returns to the station and calls Kane, trying to understand why he canceled the welfare check and why, most strangely, no one was inside the house.
Hi, this is Sergeant Nordquist at the Sheriff's Office. Is this Mr. Mays?
Yes, sir. How are you?
The reason why I'm calling is in regards... earlier this morning, you had contacted our office to do a welfare check on a family member.
That's correct.
Who is that family member to you?
It's my grandmother.
Your grandmother? Who lives up there with your grandmother at the 121 No-Go?
That would be an uncle of mine and my brother.
Do you have any information on them attempting to move anywhere?
I was told that my brother and my grandmother are planning to move soon.
So the reason why I'm calling is we went up to that address because Mr. Bleddy stopped by.
Yeah, he was the one who recommended that we give you guys a call. He seemed pretty upset. He was looking for Vic.
So we went inside the residence to make sure that nobody was hurt or injured. Nothing was broken into. We didn't see any signs of struggle or any signs of foul play. Did you text Mr. Bleddy at all today?
I mentioned that we stopped by and I had given you guys a call and everything was okay.
Well, who told you that everything was okay?
Dispatch coordinator. I don't remember her name.
Because the information that I got was that you called back and said you went up there and everything was okay.
Correct.
Now, what was in that text message to Mr. Bleddy? That's what I'm confused with.
I let him know that I had tried to call you, and the dispatch officer said that you were tied up with, it sounded like a pretty hostile situation.
The way the text message reads was that you had made contact with me, and I know for sure, and you know for sure that didn't happen, so that way it looked kind of weird.
Naturally, Nordquist doesn't know what to make of Kane's message to Mike, in which he seems to falsely claim to have spoken with the sergeant. Suspecting Kane is hiding something, Nordquist ends the call and immediately requests a search warrant for a second search of the house. While they wait for the warrant to be processed, all police can do now is hope the missing trio turns up safe. A hope that is far removed from the gruesome reality awaiting them just a few hours from now. Early on a Wednesday morning that week, around 10 a.m., something strange happens about 200 yards from the house where the trio vanished. A passerby takes notice and calls 911.
911, where's your emergency?
Yeah, I'm phoning about there's a fire off into the mountains area. I called before about 2 minutes ago. So
we drove down the road to see if we could get a better view of the fire to help you guys out.
Okay. Well, we have already toned out the fire department, so we will get units headed that way to see if they can locate.
Yeah.
Okay.
I sit at the top of that road for a second. They'll be able to see it.
We'll let them know.
Shortly after the call, 2 deputies are dispatched to investigate the fire. Once they arrive at the reported location, one of them spots something disturbing in the distance. A burned, flipped-over vehicle matching one of Victor's missing cars.
We got tire tracks towards the direction I walked. Just follow the path. I got the vehicle. It's smoking. I got a couple sets of shoe impressions, tire tracks, all that. 99% sure there was a cage and a spinal cord in here, in this vehicle.
Given the circumstances, Brad told me about it. Things are all fine. Look right in here.
Yeah. That looks like a human, dude. These things burn hot.
Yeah.
So, hopefully Slater's and his team's on the way.
As officers look inside the car, they can see what appears to be the burned remains of 3 people, too badly damaged by the fire to identify them at the scene. Suspecting a homicide, they call in Sergeant Nordquist, and it wouldn't take long for him to connect the dots.
This might be a Subaru. It's a vehicle that they haven't accounted for yet. Look right here.
Oh, for sure.
You see it?
Yeah. It's not. Do you see a soul anywhere?
I've been looking in here. Just given the circumstances, this actually might be one of the missing people.
What's that right there?
I was looking at that too.
Oh, yeah.
That's a skull cap right there.
Yeah. Yep.
It's by one of our missing people with the missing vehicle.
From up here?
Huh?
From up here?
Yeah, I guess Brad, he suspects some guy named Kane killed most of his relatives that live here. And this vehicle, I think, is a Subaru. Looks like
this is really fresh, dude. There's more over here.
He had to have put it out himself, because it would have caught this whole place on fire.
What officers are beginning to suspect is horrifying. Not only do the burned remains likely belong to the 3 missing individuals, but given how recent the fire is, the person responsible may have burned the bodies just hours ago and could still be within reach of police. So, once the scene is secured and the bodies are sent for autopsy, a nationwide BOLO is issued for Kane Mays. Although police now believe they know what happened and who's responsible, they have no idea just how far beyond Kane this plot goes. There are more players involved, more targets, and a multi-state homicide case that will exhaust every resource police have.
You gotta find him. We're afraid of him.
There was one time I should have died. Probably should be dead twice.
And he was so aggressive. And I thought we were gonna die. I thought he was gonna shoot us on the property.
More than 24 hours after the fire, officers remain unable to find or contact Kane, raising concerns that he may be on the run. But this is when the initial autopsy results come in, confirming what officers had feared all along. The burned victims are Kane's close relatives, his uncle, Victor Perea, his grandmother, Mary Mouser, and his stepbrother, Killian Mays. Beyond confirming their identities, the autopsy offers little actionable insight. At least one victim had a confirmed gunshot wound to the head, but the other remains were too severely burned to identify all injuries. Investigators surmised that the victims were likely incapacitated well before the fire was set. Following these horrific findings, they begin digging deeper into their main suspect's background. It turns out Kane Mays had been living in Canada and working as an engineer until just a few months earlier, and had several documented domestic incidents involving his wife. Hoping she may know where her husband is, officers reach out to Kane's wife on the phone, where they'll find out she might know far more than that.
Hello, my name's Justin Mitchell. I'm a detective with the Otero County Sheriff's Office in New Mexico. Are you Samantha?
Yes, I am. I had a feeling I might receive a call from you at some point since I did give you guys a call.
Yes, ma'am. You want to tell me from the beginning, like how you met him and your relationship with him?
I've actually been speaking to the Ontario Provincial Police because I thought he was messing with me, like I had mentioned. So I'm also filing a case against him right now, but because it's Canadian and now he's in America, who knows if that's gonna... But he was physically violent with me, and I have evidence of it. Yeah, we just met playing video games online, and we started an online relationship, and for a few years, it was just basically we would talk. And then one day, he calls me up and he says that his father disowned him, and he needs to move here right away. He'd always been verbally towards me, and just in general, he had a weird attitude towards things. Eventually we moved out. Brace yourself for this one, because I feel bad that I didn't come forward, told people that he had beaten me, and now this has happened. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, we both had an alcohol problem, but I never drank before I met him, and he definitely, like, pushed that on me, and he pressured me to drink a lot. Like, there was always a pressure. He wanted me to do it. He just did start hitting me. He did start getting violent with me. Probably should be dead twice.
Samantha's statements are nothing short of horrifying. But even worse, she would share a terrifying recording with detectives, captured during one of the numerous domestic incidents involving Kane.
You just let me go. And I do every time. When you ask, I let you go. I don't want you to. Please stop. Is this your neck? Is this your neck?
The rest of this recording is too disturbing to play on YouTube, but it clearly documents an alleged serious domestic violence incident involving Kane. Investigators now know they must act quickly, as more people, including Samantha, could be in immediate danger. So later that day, after securing approval for the earlier search warrant, police return to the victim's house, but this time, they bring specialized chemicals called Blue Star, used to hunt for hidden blood, bullets, and evidence that may have been cleaned up. And what they're about to uncover would reveal just how many crucial clues officers had missed during the initial search. Inside the kitchen, detectives spot one of 3 spent .22 caliber shell casings, along with a live .22 round. Using Blue Star, they also detect high-velocity blood spatter throughout the home. As the search continues, investigators notice clear attempts to clean up the scene, and given the precision and speed with which the bodies were disposed of, they begin to suspect a grim possibility. This was not the work of a single perpetrator. But then, officers find something very strange. Condoms and pregnancy tests stored with cleaning supplies near the well house and septic area. Following these disturbing findings, police would continue searching the property and contacting Kane's relatives, worried he may already be far away, possibly even on his way back to Canada. A few days later, as detectives continue searching for leads on Kane, they decide to pay Mike and his wife, Lourdes Blett, a visit. Just like Kane, Lourdes also has personal ties to all 3 victims. Victor Peria was her brother, Killian Mays was her grandnephew, and Mary Mouser was her brother's partner. But before investigators can hope to learn anything about Kane's whereabouts or possible accomplices, they must first deliver the tragic news to the couple.
Yeah. Got a nice name.
Hi, Lourdes. How are you? Detective, how are you? What's your first name? Bobby.
Hi.
This is Ashley.
Ashley, I'm Lourdes.
Do you mind if I sit down? Well, I would like to give you guys a little bit of information. As I told you yesterday, do want to let you know that there was a vehicle fire that was in close proximity to the house. There were 3 subjects that were not able to be identified that were inside of that vehicle. I cannot tell you who those subjects are.
On the property? In the Subaru? Or that?
I can't tell you what vehicle it was for sure right now. Again,
so you already know there are 3 people?
I can't
but you
tell
know
you
there's
who
3
they
people?
Are. Yes. I'm really sorry that I even have to share this information with you.
This is a horrible nightmare. It's horrendous.
I agree with you 100%.
Murder.
This is
one of
the worst things that I've ever had to be involved with.
Upon hearing the news, Lourdes is beyond devastated. What makes the situation even scarier is that she fears whoever is responsible may not be done yet.
He's a psychopath. He's a psychopath. Kane, I didn't want to say that. I didn't want to drop him in the doodle, but he's crazy. You gotta find him. We're afraid of him. He hasn't even asked how my mother is, and that's his blood grandmother.
We're working.
Oh my God, how can you be? Michael, how can it be?
We hoped for better, but
No, it's not even imagination.
We are working on so many different leads right now and trying to connect every
just catch him.
bit.
So everybody will be safe because he's crazy.
In my worst imagination, I thought, I didn't know how to tell you guys this, but I was going to say, can you look for the infrared and see if there's any graves on the property? That's what I was going to tell y'all. You know how they can tell
That's what's
something
been
had
sitting
been
with
burned.
you.
And this has got to be the worst crime
This
of the
is-
year in New
this is
Mexico.
part
I mean,
of-
I haven't heard anything this horrendous on the news lately.
Yet.
Indeed, this kind of killing doesn't happen every day, but investigators are about to hear another person of interest from the couple, someone who may know more about where Kane is.
So in our job, you will hear law enforcement say a lot, it's what you know and what you can prove. And right now, we're working on collecting the information so we can prove what we believe we know.
Yeah, see, the thing is, we don't know what he did all those years. Wherever he was, what did he do? Who did he know?
And
what
we're
was his?
also working on
We have no idea.
I would even be worried about his sister back in Roswell, so-called
Yeah, that's-
stepsister. When that one text he sent me about working with the over in Roswell or whatever he said.
he was saying something about
like-
helping out his sister with her crazy ex.
Crazy ex, yeah.
Something like that you had shown
Yes,
me.
I think it was a relationship. I kind of remember that at the beginning, that she wasn't with that guy anymore because of that.
Was
Like
that?
I was supposed to feel sorry for her. I mean, when they first were like chit-chatting and everything.
Oh, in the
like,
conversation.
"Hey,
Okay, she's talking about the
Yeah, I
Thanksgiving
think
Day
that
call.
they said something about that.
Mike would go on to identify the woman in question as 28-year-old Cassandra Douglas, Kane's half-sister. And based on his concerns and the evidence from the home search suggesting at least 2 people were likely involved in the cover-up, detectives begin to wonder if Cassandra is the next key piece to the puzzle. So with this new lead, the interview concludes, and investigators shift their focus to Cassandra and her potential connections to the homicide. Coincidentally, as investigators prepare to call Cassandra the next day, she reaches out to them instead, with a very peculiar 911 call.
Hi, is there any way that you would mind putting in a welfare check on my brother, Kane Mays?
What's the address?
He told me that he was going to 680 Cox Canyon, Cloudcroft, New Mexico.
680 Cox Canyon?
Yes, ma'am. He was supposed to meet up with our uncle and told me that if he didn't come back last night, and definitely if he didn't come back in the morning, that I needed to call you guys. He's been part of a missing persons thing, and Mike has been acting very aggressive and hostile towards us.
Not only is Cassandra claiming her brother Kane is also missing, but she's suggesting that her uncle Mike might have something to do with it. Once investigators catch wind of this 911 call, they immediately sense something is off. The timing is highly suspicious, almost as if it's part of a plan to deflect suspicion away from Kane. So later that day, officers are sent to her address with one goal in mind: assess the situation and determine whether her claims hold any weight or if it's just an attempt to mislead the investigation.
Hello?
Hello.
Hi.
Are you Candace?
No, Candace is across the street.
Okay, are you Cassandra?
I am.
Okay. So my name's Ryan Poston Reader.
Hi.
I'm a detective with the Ruidoso Police Department.
Hello.
Do you have a second to talk to me?
What's up?
So did you make a 911 call for a welfare check?
I did for Kane Mays.
For Kane, yeah.
Yeah.
That was you that made that call.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Have you heard from Kane?
I have not.
No, you still haven't heard from him?
I have not.
How do you know Kane?
He's my brother.
It's your
Or
brother.
my half-brother.
And when was the last time you heard from him?
He was supposed to go up to meet with Mike, I think on the 21st. He told me that if he didn't show up by the morning of the 22nd, that I needed to file a missing persons report because I already have 3 family members missing. Killian and Mary were supposed to go up to Albuquerque. I haven't seen those 2 alive since 11/23. Give me just a second.
Okay.
Officers have no clue at this point, but Cassandra isn't alone. Right this moment, their prime suspect, Kane Mays, is hiding inside the very house they're standing in front of.
Sorry, we're also having issues with a psychotic ex of mine. So
Oh, jeez. You're going through a lot right now.
a little bit. And then with Kane going missing and Mike presumably having like over half of his guns. It's a really, really long story.
Okay.
And not one that I'm 100% familiar with because Kane just came back into my life September of last year. So like, I wish I had all my facts straight.
I completely understand. No big deal. How did they come into your life?
Through Kane.
Okay. So Kane comes into your life, and then now you meet Mary and Killian.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then now all of them are missing.
Mm-hmm.
And have you talked? Did you ever have direct contact with Mike?
I never had direct contact with Mike, no. I just heard him screaming from the hill both times.
As she did earlier, Cassandra doubles down on her accusations, suggesting that officers should focus on Mike, implying he may be involved in the disappearances. Officers take note of her statements and ask her to give them a call if Kane shows up again. Their goal remains unclear, but now that they have a story, they can start verifying. So a few hours later, as police continue looking for Kane, an officer decides to stop by the neighborhood again and speak with Cassandra's neighbors to see if they've heard or seen anything. According to them, Cassandra hasn't been living alone. A man with long dark hair has been staying with her for the past few months. Additionally, witnesses report seeing the same man driving Victor's missing green Subaru, and that it was also seen parked outside Cassandra's residence multiple times. Realizing the description of the man matches Kane, officers return to the station to dig deeper into Cassandra's earlier claims, where they will very quickly uncover some major contradictions. Even though Cassandra insisted she had only recently met Kane, investigators discover an older Facebook photo of the two together, proof they've known each other for years. But that's just the first lie, because officers who were out looking for Kane also recover surveillance footage from a nearby Walmart, showing Kane and Cassandra shopping together alongside her sons and daughter. Besides buying groceries and food, investigators spot cleaning supplies like bleach and vinegar, along with multiple bottles of kerosene, items that closely align with what would be needed to clean up a violent crime and start a fire. At this point, investigators are unsure if Cassandra is actively hiding a wanted fugitive or if she's being controlled and forced to cooperate with someone who has already killed 3 members of her own family. With suspicion mounting, detectives obtain a search warrant for Cassandra's house. Then, around 8 p.m. that night, a group of officers return to the property, taking up positions outside the house as they prepare to raid it.
Occupants of 7 Morningside. This is the Roswell Police Department. Exit the front door with your hands up. Do it now. You got a shield? Yep. Roswell Police, search warrant! I guess we're just going to boot this thing. One more. Roswell Police, anyone inside, make yourself known! Alright, we're gonna pull in. I'm gonna take left. Ready? Small room. Got another door here.
Ready?
Yep.
I'm gonna go. I got a hallway with looks like the refrigerator kitchen.
Three on me. Moving up. And Cassandra Jolly's the one that lived here, huh?
Yeah.
Look, they got some La Muerte stuff right here. Santa Muerte. There's a, see that? Right.
This
Something
is where
weird.
he's been hanging out because there's that monitor for the camera that's in the window.
What if this guy's on
But
a
I don't know
fucking
if it
terrorist
works
watch?
or not. Did you remember what those cigarette packs were?
I had a Marlboro and then I had a. Yeah, I saw that one in the closet.
There's another one. Your big cans are all over this room. Your Red Bull can.
Inside, something about the house immediately feels off to the officers as they observe unusual posters, graffiti, and other unsettling details scattered throughout. They then make their way into the bathroom, where one officer recalls hearing that something might be hidden underneath the house.
I highly doubt, but the back door was open? No, we opened. I'm sure this is what he was referring to.
Like under all this?
That's what he said. The neighbor across the street said that he used to live here, and then there's a door underneath the washer and dryer. At least the basement. Because didn't they say there was another secret exit or something here?
There's a couple windows. What do they go to?
They're filled in. They look up there already or no?
Ready?
Go ahead.
Put it down.
Yeah,
I'll hold it.
No dust on it. Oh, that'll fit. That. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Oh yeah. That's too new. It's really big. Mm-hmm. All right.
Got a water leak though.
It's kind of weird to have a door right there too, huh?
At the center of the basement sits a plastic storage tote, toolbox, duffel bags, and other various items. Officers notice there's no dust on the items, and whoever left them behind was in a hurry, possibly trying to leave unnoticed. Beyond the basement, police would go on to find something highly suspicious: documents belonging to one of the victims, alongside paperwork linked to Kane's father and live .22 caliber ammunition. Following these discoveries, investigators secure the scene and begin working to obtain a real-time location warrant for Cassandra's phone. With their suspicions growing that Cassandra fled with Kane, officers know they need to locate them quickly before they vanish, potentially escaping to Canada. 12 hours later, investigators strike gold. The warrant for Cassandra's phone is successfully approved, and in a major development, Verizon pings Cassandra's phone nearly 1,000 miles away. She's no longer in New Mexico, but in Hernando, Mississippi, inside a Super 8 motel. With this discovery, the case becomes multi-state, with police in Mississippi quickly briefed on the investigation. Officers are then dispatched to locate Cassandra. This is the final phase in the case, and what happens next will determine whether police get the critical answers they need or lose the lead entirely. As officers make their way to the Super 8 motel, their primary objectives are to extract information about Kane's whereabouts, test Cassandra's statements, and determine how deeply she may have been involved in the homicide of her own relatives. When officers finally arrive at the motel, something immediately feels off.
Miss who? Miss John. Or actually, technically, I'm Douglas because I still have my ex's last name.
So, what's going on? What are we looking at here?
I don't know. You tell me. All I know is that my brother went missing on the 21st. We were trying to investigate his property. We thought Mary and Killian had left, and then Mike came down and started being aggressive and hateful and shooting rounds. And we've already tried to file this with the Roswell Police Department down in New Mexico.
Would you consent to a search for your vehicle?
You can search the car and you can search the room. I don't care.
Okay.
Interestingly, Cassandra now seems on the verge of an emotional breakdown for reasons the officers are yet to understand. After all, only 24 hours have passed, and seemingly no new information has been relayed to her. Neither news of the murder, nor that Kane is the main suspect, nor that her house was just searched. So to get to the bottom of her emotional reaction, Mississippi officers on scene coordinate a call with Special Agent Kyle Graham in New Mexico, who's been tracking the growing list of contradictions in Cassandra's statements. Using those inconsistencies, the detective is about to carefully test Cassandra's story and see how far she cracks.
Do you mind grabbing those, taking your waffles upstairs?
I'm not upstairs, I'm downstairs.
Downstairs.
Yeah.
104.
You spoke with a detective 2 days ago at your house in Roswell, correct?
Yeah. The day the Walter showed up and I had to leave. So I brought them over here to Mississippi. Why is that anything wrong?
No, there's nothing wrong with that. What we're trying to do is we're trying to figure out what's going on with Kane and what's going on with his family.
I don't know. I haven't even, I just met
112
Killian
NVA 30.
and my grandmother